Hello and welcome back. Today we are taking a look at the Doctor Who Revenge of the Cyberman collector figure set from Character Options. You might have seen my other Dalek videos where I mentioned I wasn't planning on getting this set. I guess I lied and I ended up caving and getting it. If the picture looks a little weird, I'm recording this on my tablet today, so I apologise for that. But here we have the Doctor Who Revenge of the Cyberman collector figure set as they appeared in that Fourth Doctor serial from 1975. This is essentially a update, slight redeco of the three figures that were previously released about 15 or so years ago. I don't know if they have, I think they might have some slightly different articulation and they do have some updated deco. Other than that, I do believe they are the same figures. I ended up caving because you can never have too many Cybermen, right? But here we have the standard Character Options Doctor Who packaging with the TARDIS in the bottom corner. Note of which Doctor this relates to, so the Fourth Doctor, our contents, limited edition. Should mention this came from B&M and I do believe it is an exclusive to the B&M stores. Bottom has our barcode word and legal. Our side, our top, and then we have a bio of the Revenge of the Cybermen serial from 1975. So let's get these figures opened up and take a look at them. So the figures come on a blister pack insert of a backdrop of Nova Beacon as it appeared in Revenge of the Cyberman, along with the Cyberman ship in the corner there. Unfortunately, because this is a blister pack, you're going to tear the packaging to get it off, so you're going to lose the display piece, which is a shame because this would have made a nice backdrop for collectors. If I recall rightly, the original release of this did also have the similar or same backdrop, except they were on insert rather than a blister pack, so you could continue to use that display. Despite the redeco and possible articulation changes, which we'll take a look at in a second, from what I recall, this is exactly the same set as was previously released, which is the three Cybermen and our Cybermat. So first off, let's get these figures stood up so we can take a look at them. There's our figures. So first off, as a extra figure slash accessory, we get a little Cybermat model. The top half is done in a nice silver with sort of a gunmetal grey underneath, and then black and gold. Strangely, they've put gold on these, given that the entire story is very much about how the Cybermen are allergic to gold. But yeah, it's a nice little touch. It adds some nice detail there. If I bring in the original figure here, you can see they are the exact same mold. They just have some different paint deco. So this is more of a actual gloss, metallic-y silver. This is a slightly different, lighter shade of silver, and it feels a little more textured, but that's probably just the molding they've used. Underneath is the same, except for up here they have the slightly different decos. This is missing the red paint that this one has, but this obviously doesn't have the black and gold. They are slightly different in terms of art deco, otherwise they are the exact same accessory slash figure. And then we have our 3 Cybermen. So we get the Cyber Leader and 2 Cybermen. And they are nice sturdy figures immediately off the bat. Here we have our Cyberman. They have rotation at the arms, a swivel at the bicep, elbow joint, swivel at the hand. Head sort of turns, but because of the mold of the Cyberman's helmets, they don't really get a full turn on them. There is a waist swivel. Legs go forward that far because of the cut of the suits. They don't go back at all. And they have a bend at the knee and a swivel at the calf, the ankle, sorry. But because of the mold of the suit, again, you don't get that much of articulation. There's some really nice detailing on this. I like the molding of the helmets, the clear plastic for the chest units. There's a very dull bronzy gold here on the units again. Strange colouring choice for the figures, but it works well enough that it isn't as bright as the Cybermat. Again, I do like that chest unit. The second Cyberman is the exact same figure as is the Cyber Leader, bar that black paint tap on the top of this helmet and the handlebars. Again, really tight molding, so you're not going to get much of a swivel there. If I bring in the original releases, you can also take a look at those. So first up we have our Cyber Leader, and as you can see, it is the same figure bar for the paint apps on the chest units. This does have the exact same articulation as our re-release. Sorry, I meant the legs do bend out there if you are interested in that. The black on the original, besides it being really dusty, which I apologise for, is a slightly matter black than the re-release, and the chest unit obviously is the black here, but it's a silver on this one, with which actually shows up the molded detail a lot clearer, which is a nice touch. The clear plastic they've used on the updated figure allows for the insides to be seen a little clearer, but they are missing paint apps. The sides are missing the silver, as is the black on the inside of the chest units. Otherwise, these are the same figures. Appears the hips have been updated on these figures. The legs stand a little more flush. You can see there is somewhat of a thigh gap on the older figure. And the same goes for the standard Cyberman unit, which is the same again as that original, as that re-release. The closer legs allow for these to stand a little sturdier, which is fantastic for displaying and obviously photography and things like that. Overall, I'm glad I got the set. If I missed it, it wouldn't have been a big disappointment for me. These are essentially the exact same figures. While the Cybermen are missing some paint apps and have some newer paint apps, I do prefer the overall paint apps on the newer figures. But yeah, there we have them. So I think if you have the originals, these aren't necessarily an essential purchase. However, if you missed them out on the first time or you really like Cybermen, then yeah, I would recommend picking these up. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, freedom is a right, not a privilege.